Hello model railroaders, it's Dave, welcome back to the layout. Well, finally getting to use the layout like I had intended when I planned it 3 years ago. So what you are seeing are two separate trains going up in the helix and one train going down the helix. Now the train going down, the coal train, that's around 84 cars. It's got 3 engines powered on the front plus a dummy, and then about 2/3 of the way down it has a dummy and 2 powered engines to keep that, I believe it's about 84 cars going. The train that you're seeing second down from the top of the helix, that is a 5 loco consist on the front, and that is pulling 50 cars. And the big boy steam engine there is, I believe, 38 cars. So if everything goes well, we'll see how long we can run 3 consecutive long trains. Now the coal train is a permanent lash up. I've speed matched the engines. They're all under one hard programmed consist ID. The 5 diesels there that you can see just coming up, they are all soft consisted together. And the cars that it's pulling, I have not made a permanent train. So as you can see, I run caboose on the end of my trains so that I can know where if I've had a decoupling occur somewhere along the line. So that's where I'm at, because I would need to change the reprogram all the engine IDs when I do my control module change around. I wanted to try and run some of my long trains now, that way I could get some immediate gratification, because apart from all the yard work and all the other industrial aspects that I've set the layout up for, the other aspect is rail fanning. And with a large double-deck layout, and I believe the helix is 1.7% grade. For N, that's a little on the high side. 2 is about the max from what I've read. So 1.7 is about all I was comfortable in handling without getting too large or too small and upping that slope. So I do have another loco, as you can see, the F units, the ABBA, and I believe that's somewhere around 50 cars as well. And if I didn't mention it before, this one receding there, that's 50 cars. Let me just grab my little slip of paper and I can confirm my numbers. Yes, so that one is running 50, and it'll be coming down that track very soon. And there it is. So that's running 50 cars. the big boy coming up here at the top of the helix, that's running 37 cars, to get my numbers right. And I haven't counted the coal train recently, but I believe it was around 84, and could be 86 if you include the two dummies. So that's pretty much static, but it's so long because it's about 28 feet long. It actually will run from that corner all the way down that back wall into the about a foot into the next corner, and that's 27 feet. So it's about 28 feet with a little jog in the track here. So okay, the big boys making its appearance. And the seam blocks are working the way I wanted them to, where up here on the top level, again, you can't see that 50 car train. It's hidden back and should be coming out down that back corner relatively soon. And then the steam train will disappear until it shows up right in this area. And actually, I'm going to turn my Accutrax speed unit on so I can see. Yeah, there's the other train there. So the seam blocks with the background there and the riser for the large hill / mountain with the tunnel underneath it is proving quite well. Now what I need to do is hope with it playing peekaboo on me that I actually have the relevant number of cars still attached. And I've got a major faux pas. I didn't double check my switches. I'm glad I caught that early on. My coal train actually ran into the yard. So that is going to mean I need to shut everything else down here so that luckily, again, I guess this is my own fault for being distracted doing the camera work and talking, but luckily it didn't get horrendously far. So if I can get it backed up to I guess this point here, then I can get it back onto the main line. So I guess actually it would be here. If I can, because there's the for the one switch. So if I can get it backed up to there, get it back on the main line, then everything will be fine. So at least no derailments, and all of the cars have stayed attached on here. And I'm finding the microtrains couplers I've had no problem with, of them decoupling under the load of any of the trains coming up the helix or going around curves. Now the Accumate, the Atlas couplers, if one's going to give, it will be that one. And like you can see here, these are a couple of microtrains cars actually, but as I was mentioning earlier, I haven't adjusted car to car to ensure that the coupler height is like dead on. So some of these pieced together trains, I'll have that inconsistency, so I've really got to watch like these trains in particular. Now this one is carrying some cast loads, so that 50 cars has actually got a fair bit of weight that those 5 locals were actually pulling. So I'm quite happy with that. The pulling power is doing great. While I'm up here, I'll show you that I've moved some cars around. So I put a tarp flat car load for the Woods Furniture Company, and I've got a few cars in for the wood wholesaler that on that siding. And then coming down, I've moved some of the logging cars up that would be in a transition state. Now, to gain really a full effect, I'm going to need to change the coupler out on that model power unit, so on the front, so that I can couple from both the front and the back. So that's a future project, though I believe since I'll only be grabbing and dropping off any cars here from the same orientation, that I can probably get away with just having the back coupler working only. This building that I still have to finish, I just left a freight car there for its staging. I'm figuring this is going to be a transfer, cold storage transfer location, so you know, Tropicana and Mandarin Orange, so you know, whatever. And then we've got the transformer company, manufacturing company there. So that's kind of the loads that I envisioned those buildings requiring. So that doesn't look too bad. Now, trackage up top, I still have to sort out, because I've got the turnout here, so I do have to plan on, am I putting some track down where that is? If I do, will it be hidden, as in pinched between a building and that riser, or will I bring it around following the spur line and have it so that the track will be in this area here, and then a building would be along this area, so that you could decouple the load. So I've got to make that decision. And as well over here, I'm thinking of maybe having the more rural grain mill down in that spot, and that would be serviced off a line that would come off that turnout. So the whatever load drop off and pick up would be back down to there. But I'm kind of more leaning that will be city for the moment, and this will be more of a rural area, more that style of houses, where that will all be more city structures. But I'm not solidified on that plan, and at some point eventually a long-term goal will be to put a pardon me, will be to put a cover over top of the helix, and then do, let's say, this city blocks, do a little removable diorama on foam. So just build a rough framing structure that the foam will sit on, and that way the foam modules can be removed. That's a long term, which is way far down the line before I get to that. And this will have just more of a very large industrial complex down on this section, serviced by that turnout there. So again, you know, it's still a great work in progress, but apart from not catching that I still had that turnout not thrown correctly from when I brought some stuff into the yard the other night. So lesson learned, always check your turnouts and never make an ass out of yourself by assuming. So I'll end the video at this point, and over the weekend, once I get some trains running, and I'll post another rail fanning video. So for now, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.